All right, guys, in this episode, I have Jackson Wilkey. Jackson is someone who has definitely changed my life with being so big into YouTube for real estate. He is part of the Channel Junkies, but more importantly, he's a father, and, I think he's like the first to admit that he is the worst real estate agent in the world, and yet he is still successful in this industry in his own right. And I think he is someone who, if you're kind of confused in this industry, you don't know if it's for you, or you don't understand that there's different ways to make money being an agent, not just doing the normal day-to-day grind. I think he's the man who speaks that. So Jackson, thanks for coming here, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks, homie. Let's do this. That's a great introduction. Hey, you suck. You're tired.
I know. No, what's funny is, and I don't mean that for those listening, it's actually, I say that with gratitude, because I think hearing you tell your story in the past, whether it's like live last year at the event, meetup, and it hit me towards like, man, I don't have to do the normal stuff to make this work. I think it's more of an appreciation with being so honest, because, hey, dude, in this world, the Instagram superstars, like, no one's honest anymore.
Well, and I think in real estate, it's like you get your license and, okay, I've got to go find people to buy and sell homes, and that's just all I'm going to do, and that's how I'm going to make my career. And that's what I thought for 18 months. But, there's so many roles in real estate to where I think, it kind of just needs to be looked at differently. Like, hey, I'd love to just get into the real estate industry. And if you're a hardcore like closer seller, then, the sales side of it is for you. And I sucked at that. I was awful because I can't close, and I can talk to anybody and super comfortable, in big crowds type of things. So, and I know that's not for a lot of people, but, I think, had there been a podcast maybe like this, or people I could have talked to that said, no, you don't have to be the one closing it all. If you have talent in video, like, you could create a team or get on a team and be that aspect of it. Right. And that's, I guess looking 5 years in the rearview mirror of what, I would advise to people.
Well, you grew up in North Idaho, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to ask. Obviously, you're in business. You're out there creating your own wealth and future for your family. But was that drive always there? Because I think you used to do lineman work too, right? If I remember correctly, in your past.
Line work, blue collar work, and the whole thing about the kids is that I worked union work, and then I also did storm travel work. So I mean, dude, holidays, birthdays, you name it. I was a miserable dude, and I'm super happy, glass half full, but I just kind of got to a point where I hated life, and I was not hated life. I'll take that, that's a little strong, but I hated my job. And come Sundays, like, you didn't want to be around me. And I just knew I had to go back to that grind of work, So for me, my whole thing was just like, I am doing nothing. I don't have a legacy to build for my kids. I want to spend more time with them. I always got jealous of my friends who, like, midweek could just like go do something with their kids, go pop into their schools. That's what really led me to kind of like, I got to figure something out different. And I got a sales job in Portland, Oregon as a title rep. That was like how my big breakthrough. The only problem was I took a third, or a 2/3 pay cut, going from six figures in a small town to now $40,000 in an expensive town. Put my back against the wall big time, but figured it out.
How did Portland come on the map? Have you traveled there before?
No, I only lived 6 hours away. I think I went there one time before. I never went anywhere.
What brought you there? Did it just like come up, or?
Well, what happened was I was looking for this new, like, okay, I got to get out of line work, blue collar work, group working on a ranch, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I know everybody in this town, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, we could get you a job here, there, whatever. Nothing ever panned out. And I'm starting to learn, like, I got to do this shit myself. And honestly, the people that I'm surrounding myself with on a daily basis, they're not going anywhere. It's just drinking beer all the time. And I started kind of putting it out there. And just randomly enough, my wife's best friend and her husband came to visit us, and I knew him. They were living in Portland at the time, and we're talking, doing the whole thing. And he's like, dude, you would kill it at sales. And this is right when I'm trying to figure stuff out. It's been 6 months. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, dude, I bet you I could get you a job. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, dude, let me. And so he goes back and tells, his manager and everybody about me. So I fly out there and meet them, and it's basically having beers, doing what title reps do, and meet the managers, and they're just like, holy shit, like, we'd love to have you type thing. But it took a couple months, and that's really what happened. Was it was just this fluke. Hey, you should try sales, and I get into title work and helping realtors to close business. That's what a title rep's supposed to do, right? So I go from building power lines and working on a ranch to now I got to help real estate agents with social media. I didn't even have social media, nothing, but it's kind of a crazy story. That's was my start into the real estate industry, and then I just got like crazy obsessed with what every realtor's like. You know what? I need to be doing video. Everybody's talking video. None of them are doing it. So I'm like, there's kind of my in. I started learning how to shoot videos with my phone. I bought a $200 MacBook on eBay to edit on iMovie and just started editing videos like crazy. Trying to help real estate agents. None of them wanted to do it. So I started shooting my own videos to attract agents type thing. And then I met my business partner after 6 months, Jesse, through a video text message that I sent him to get his attention. And then I started shooting videos with him. And I mean, dude, I could talk for hours about it, but it was all, that's how it all started. That's how I got out of my little town to Portland, and then started kind of developing this whole living in method that we've created.
No, I mean, I love it, man. And I know you're all over the internet at this point where we can hear a lot about that story. One thing I think I've always curious about is like, so how many years until, like, I know the Channel Junkies before it really started to take hold, how many years was that from when you got there doing title work to when it really started to gain traction? Like Jesse.
2 years. So 6 months I met Jesse. After 11 months of living there and doing the title rep, that was when I said, I got to get out of this. I'm on the wrong side of the deal. Yeah. And I got my license. So, that it was 1 year I got my license. And then I'm like, this is easy. We weren't business partners, but we hung out every day, me and Jesse, and he did 12 million his first year cold calling. So I'm like, I've always succeeded. Like, I can do 12 million. Dude, so that's how I opened this, like, hey, figure out what you're good at. So he's telling me to cold call. Everybody's telling me to cold call. I'm watching cold callers on YouTube. I'm like, that's it. That's how you have to start. And I'm trying to call. And I literally am praying, and I'm not religious, but like, please don't pick up this phone. Like, as long as I went through the motion, I could tell Jesse or other people that, I made calls this morning, but I didn't want anybody to answer because I just feared it so much, and so it took. And then but in the meantime, in my mind, I'm like, videos. So I just started shooting hundreds and hundreds of videos about like the digital mayor strategy, right? Where I would interview shops and restaurants. I would show all the local stuff and all over Facebook, Instagram. And I mean, I just did that for like a year, and I didn't close any deals. Like, I was dying, slow death. Thankfully, Jesse was like so busy. He brought me on and is like, hey, I'll give you a piece of my business. I see what you're doing with the videos. I want to build a big marketing, like, real estate company. Just keep doing what you're doing. And if your business somehow, I know it's going to take off eventually, something's going to happen. We'll split everything 50-50. But that kept me above water a little bit to where I could actually pay bills and shit. But that's what I did. I just shot thousands of videos, really, sometimes 5-6 a day, about my city. And I didn't close any deals from it, got no business from it. But, that's kind of my story. And then started learning about, the YouTube thing. There was nobody doing it. It was wide open. And, we'll probably get into it later. But that and then it took me 16 months of YouTube to figure it out. It's all that,
Yeah. I mean, you definitely put in the work. There's no question about that. I know as someone who actually cares about taking care of their family, how much do you struggle with during those years of just not really bringing money in, even though you're working, but it just wasn't working?
Yeah, it got to the point where I was going to quit and go back to line work, which I promised myself I never in a million years would. I even got rid of my CDL, which you have to drive the big bucket trucks and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm not doing this. And as my 3-year-old comes blowing through the door right now.
It's all good. I'm sorry, mine hasn't come
I know. It's like, he comes in half my videos. It was brutal because that's all I thought about was, okay, 2 kids with a third on the way. Man, I know I can just go travel, line work, make 6 figures and whatever I got to do. So I almost went back to that dark place just because I had to.
Yeah. That's deep, man. What do you think Jesse saw in you to kind of give you like that enough to scrape by?
I've heard him say this a few times, and if you know Jesse, like the one thing about him you'll learn quick is just don't waste his time. Like he hates time wasters, and he also hates dumb people. But he's a killer. He's a just full blown like business killer who's very direct. And I think he saw something in me. We're completely polar opposite, but we just we click. You know, you have that one friend you just you never thought in a million years you'd be close to, and all of a sudden you just man, from the first hour we were just talking crazy. And then I think he just saw that kind of relentless this guy is shooting videos all day every day, and he's the kind of guy that if he gets the talent, you know, he can make the chess pieces work. You just got to be able to find that raw talent. And I think it was that, you know, in short of, hey, here's some of my business just so you can afford to live. But I see there's something in you that if I can just free you up to go, it'll help. And I think that's kind of what he saw was that other side of him he didn't have, that he knew if he could get it some talent, he could steer it in the right direction.
No, I get it. Speaking of 3-year-olds, what's up, dude? Yeah, we're gonna get this on the podcast.
3-year-old off.
I know. Here, come here, dude. What are you doing? Blowing in here? Yeah.
Yep.
Here,
he must have heard my 3-year-old.
Oh, I know. It's like
and then I was looking at him and then he slammed the door on me though.
I know. You can chill here, dude. No, that's a big thing for those listening. Is this is my life? I don't know why. I don't know. It, just is what it is. I know they've popped in your videos before too, man. You know, I know you've done vlogs and stuff with a minute. So many like that happens. Yeah.
Well, they had to. I was so broke when I started that. So the summers, you know, I started after a long time of YouTube doing it wrong, and I always give flowers. I mean, there's people who've ripped off my stuff more than you could believe, but I started watching this gal carrying car in the East Coast, and she was doing a form of YouTube, but what she figured out, I talked to her, was she was a blog writer, very good blog writer who got a ton of leads from blogs, and she found out that putting YouTube videos in the blog is what makes your videos or your blogs rank better. So she started shooting but she was really heavy in the escrow and inspection and kind of that style. And then she did a pros and cons video, and it had all these views. I remember 10, 20,000. And I was like, I've been uploading videos to YouTube for 18 months and I got 4 views. I didn't know about keywords. I didn't know about descriptions.
Right.
But that's what led me down my path to going, okay, I don't like her style, but there's something that I can really change with this to make it mine. But yeah, keep going, man.
No, you're good, dude. So yeah, no, I get it, man. Well, I mean, I think I have mad respect for, obviously you figured it out, but what's funny is people look at the success. I don't think they always, I mean, I've seen it too, even when I first came underneath you guys at EXP under Jesse. And you still see it to this day where people make comments like, it's just not working. I'm like, dude, you've been doing it for 4 months. Not every channel is the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's funny is you guys are so open about the work, but it's still work,
You got to put it in. Work. Yeah. We've seen channels that I've helped I have 13 of them. I've had one that just it was instant. It was just instant. I could not believe it. And then my biggest one today that brings easily the most volume is the Houston one. But I mean, it's,
dude, I live with it, man. I think when I first started this industry, I would avoid my kids being, if I had a phone call, I'll never, I don't care, man. And what's great is my clients don't care either.
No, it actually adds
yeah.
Well, in this so in this business, that's the one thing I've learned. Okay, we can talk YouTube, we can talk SEO, all that shit, but
yeah, that's great, man. I think your
golden nugget of YouTube and what I've coached thousands of agents, and you've been on calls with me. There's zero magic button. All I'm trying to do is get you to be who you are, unapologetically and authentic. And holy shit, you're, and that's the thing. I don't care if you're a freaking physical therapist, you want to paint nails, I don't care what it is. When you start niching into who you are and why you do your product, which is me, is relocation, family, homes, that's when the roof blows off your business. And that's the hardest part, dude, is trying to be who, you see this real estate agent and they're successful and they're buttoned up and they say these words and you copy it and it just doesn't work.
No, man, it doesn't. And it's funny you mentioned that. Even I have 2 channels. I changed San Diego last November to military only. It's like if you're relocating to San Diego, because I'm heading out, man. I'm almost even toyed with canceling my license. And like, it's funny how like you say that all the time. And like the Orlando channel was already working, and San Diego I dabbled with. And I'm like, you know what, dude? I hate regular people in San Diego, and that's okay to admit that. So I went military only, and all of a sudden now I've had 4 reach outs. And they're all qualified, And I'm like, I guess it's not dead. I guess I'll maintain it for now. But
and that's just so much more enjoyable to talk about, And
I'm just, I'm a dry person, I align more with Jesse. Like, don't waste my time. Like, I have so little time to begin with. Like, people's like, you don't have patience. I'm like, well, for the right client, like they kind of love that. I'm like, it's just, I can't be working with a first time home buyer because it's just the patience is just not there. But that's okay,
Yep.
But obviously, so. When was the last time you even like were involved in production at all? I mean, I remember the story of how you just weren't following up with buyer leads when they first started rolling out.
Yeah, our first YouTube client that we actually got, it wasn't our first reach out, our first lead, but the first one that we were like closing was this house over on the deep east side of Portland that's not good. I mean, it's hairy.
Been to that area, yeah.
I'm talking gang shoot like bad, and I didn't, dude. I'm so happy, and these people were coming from California, and I mean, he's like tatted to the 9.
So he worked at the
airport, and he's like, this ain't bad compared to California. That was like his whole mantra. So I'm like, whatever. Like we stretched to get this $200,000 deal done, which is like cheap in Portland.
Yeah,
and I'm jacked up about it. But I just remember the process of like buying and selling and all the paper. I didn't do any of it. And Jesse's like, I'm like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? And a lot of it should be like, go learn this or go read that. But I didn't care. I could have went and done it, but I just would have been going through the motions. Like I had zero care in the world about the real estate transaction. I liked the person and I loved the video and I was addicted to that.
So it's like if someone came in and was just like, hey, Jackson, here's your 6-figure income back. And it's doing this other thing. You'd be like, oh, well, I'm not going to stay doing transaction stuff. Forget that. It's kind of probably how it sounds.
And my brain doesn't work that way. But what happened was like, okay, now this YouTube thing, we're kind of like getting our groove. What happened was I discovered the real estate vlog, which now is like one of the most popular videos on YouTube. But it's I've figured out something that was not being done, period, in real estate. And that was leveraging keywords of cities and suburbs like Beaverton, Oregon, and doing a vlog to show people what it was like to live in there. So we're doing these we're doing 3 videos a week, and I'm talking like high-end videos with, hours of footage type vlogs. And I mean, it's all I'm doing every day. And the calls are pouring in. And this is my part of the business, right? I got to meet Jesse 50-50. And I mean, every day I'm calling like, dude, we got 3 calls today. Budget is 700,000. Oh my God. Another call today, 1.3 million. But oh my God. Another call today, 450. And Jesse's like, I call him the Don King of real estate. So what he learned early on was, I'm going to pimp this out. I'm going to talk about it every day on my social media about how many leads we get, about like crazy. So what happens is like, all of a sudden Jesse calls me. He's like, hey, what's up with all those leads? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like they'll call me. He's like, what do you mean they'll call you? Like, are they coming into town? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, some of them will call me before they come in or whatever. He's like, well, are they pre-approved? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what the fuck do you mean you don't know, right? Like,
I
don't know. He's like, well, do you have all these numbers and everything tracked down? And I'm like, no. I mean, I got some sticky notes, and in my phone to this day, if you just type in YouTube in the search contact, there's like 100 people that are like, Cameron Hodge, YouTube, Jackson Wilkey, YouTube, John Smith, YouTube, Cindy Lou. That was it. And Jesse's like, you got to be kidding me, bro. And I'm like, what? Like, so that's how naive I was to it. But it's also just plays into our story. And thank God there's someone like Jesse who saw the talent. Again, starting from the beginning. So he goes, give me everything you have. And I just, dude, all these numbers, I like hand wrote them down on a sheet, and there was 50 of them with numbers, emails, sent them over to him. And, you know, within a month or two, we had like 14 of them in contract. So
crazy.
He calls me after talking to all these clients in a day and getting them all scheduled and booked and that to like, he's like, hey, Jackson, you're never going to work real estate again a day in your life. You're terrible at it. But you got to go all in on this YouTube thing. It's for real. I've never seen like it. Like, just go.
Yeah.
And in my mind, dude, and I have my book coming out. So I'm just like, talk about the greatest day. And you forget, man, you just forget sometimes. But the greatest day of my life, when I did not have to work a union job, show up, you know, at dark, come home at dark, or go out every Saturday and Sunday and hold open houses and cold call every morning. None of it. Shoot videos, Jackson. And I already loved it. Like once after the first 10, 20 videos, you know, which was a year, 18 months before, I started loving my videos. I made them fun. I loved seeing myself in the videos. And I was like, it's
well, the first time I heard about you guys was when you were on GSD Mode, the podcast.
Yeah.
That's where I first came into you guys. I was like one of your first course purchasers when you had the original one come out. So.
And dude, you talk about, because everybody listened, you know, to that podcast, GSD Mode. He had Rockstar, and like I listened to it before I was licensed, and I loved it. And then to come full circle, he's like, dude, he literally calls me one day, like, "What's up, bro?" He's like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "You got the craziest YouTube channel. I've never seen anything like this." Is a guy who sold like 2,000 homes. Where he's like, "I've never seen anything like that in my life. That's the most insane thing." And I'm just like, dude, I didn't even know. And he's like, "I got to get you on the podcast." I'm like, oh my God. To this day, that guy is as solid as it gets. He's only there to help you. It's crazy.
Oh, I know. I definitely get that vibe, man. I mean, it's awesome. But see, what's funny is like they always say like you can have too much of a good thing. And I know eventually you did nothing but videos. But you hit a point where you guys had so many channels. Didn't it start to weigh on you?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you talk about that?
So the cool part was, what I realized was, okay, I've got this God-given talent to, one, be on camera, two, get these videos out, and really three, like I can shoot a lot of videos really freaking quick. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to teach it, you know. Now I'm just starting to teach it to agents, and you know, the ones who just like did it right away and did it. And again, I created a actual blueprint course from start to finish of like exactly my living in model method. But 99% of the agents really struggled, you know? And then I would see these super hot markets, you know, this is years ago, that didn't have a single YouTube channel in them. And I'm like, and I'm telling Jesse, he's like, why aren't these people doing it? We're trying to like partner with them or help them and split. Like, I can't get them to do anything. And it kind of led me to like, all right, I'm going to go just do this shit myself, dude. Yeah. So crazy stories like, 18, 24 months. I'm just traveling the country with my family and my kids, which is so cool. And I would show up for 2 days. I would shoot 20 videos and leave. And I mean, I'd have all the B-roll, and then I could shoot all the rest of them here. And it was awesome. And then all of a sudden it just, dude, it crashed on me. I was just like, holy crap. I've got 13 channels, you know, at least 1 to 2 a week. And I'm trying to make and remember what I saw in Arkansas, and then turn the camera on and talk about Phoenix, Arizona. The next thing you know, I'm talking about Bozeman, Montana, and then I'm talking about the Florida Keys, and then I'm talking about North Idaho, and I'm just like, holy shit, you know, kind of ran me down this kind of spiraling path of just, dude, I didn't even know what to say or do anymore. So the cool thing about Jesse too is, I mean, he's very, you know, money focused and profit and that kind of stuff. But there's also times when you just tell him flat out, I am not doing that, or I'm done, or whatever, that he doesn't sit there and go, what the fuck? Why not? He goes, okay, boom, done. Don't ever do it again today. But now you need to focus 10X on these parts over here. And that's kind of what happened, you know, with that. It was just a lot, you know?
I know. Sometimes I feel like he's too reserved. I'm like, dude, you got like a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool shit going on in that brain, man. I'm like, you gotta get it out, dude. I'm like, because you're like trying to be like the undercover business like connoisseur here, and I'm like, dude, you know, even when I had him on the show, like, you know, he's still a little reserved to a point. I'm like, man, dude, you just got a lot of cool shit going on, you know?
he's a trigger guy. Like you trigger something in him, and that's what I became an expert at on video.
Yeah.
Was really just I would hear him talk all day, and I've just mastered to pick out like the super key things that no matter what audience he's speaking to, and I can open with that real quick and be like, hey, dude, you talk a lot about X, Y, and Z. What do you think? And you'll see him like light up, and then he's just like, buh, 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 and he's just like, it spews out of him. It's pretty cool to see.
I love that, man. Well, God, what's funny is a lot of agents think to be in this industry, you have to stay in production. And what you guys have started, I mean, Jesus, crazy. I think like Matt Aguirre, following your practices, that guy's traveling the world with his family by doing this.
We got multiple agents doing that. It's like, it is crazy. You don't have to be in the and actually what happens is the ones who stay in the transactions, typically, they let go of their channel, which is producing the leads. They they drop so many leads, so many clients, you just can't do it. So the key to this business is to delegate and hand off,
Yeah. How does it feel? Like, have you and Jesse ever sat down and like look? Think about like the amount of wealth and lives that have been changed. Because being on the backsides where I'm not having to deal with like the day-to-day craziness, because I'm not at that level you guys are at. Like, it's crazy. I take note, man. You change a lot of lives and families in this process. Even through your company, Channel Junkies. One of the other coaches that you guys have for your program out of Kansas City, like, dude, he's like, yeah, man, I'm selling the house. We're just gonna live in the RV, traveling around the country while doing this. I'm like, dude, what? I'm like, that's crazy. But then again, well, I'm working and handing stuff off, and I'm planning to live in Florida and come back, to California during the summer for my wife's family. And I'm like, damn, I can do that too. So I guess it isn't that crazy, How's it feel?
Crazy though. That's that. Dude, 5 years ago or whatever it was, like, I'm a lineman climbing power poles in 6 feet of snow. Like, to now, we can really go and do whatever, and there's work to it, but it's and to answer your question, I don't look back enough. Like, I still feel like I haven't done anything. Like, I'm scratching the surface, and even when I'm looking at my YouTube channels or doing coaching, like, I am generally like very curious still and always learning. And I'm in a whole different phase of video and life now, to where it's like not the gangbuster as many as I can do. I've reeled back to like, I'm going to do way less, but they're going to be really, really good videos. I'm trying to be the best creator now that I possibly can, but sometimes it's nice to just hear you change lives. And I know that I have, and that there's nothing better feeling than that,
well, it's funny because you and Jesse are so yin and yang. He attracts people that are just out here to like crush the business, but then you got your side, and you're like, dude, I just enjoy a beer every now and then and just living my life with my family. So it's a good yin and yang. It attracts both, man. So where's the future hold for you? You guys are growing a Channel Junkies and really growing that, but what about for you personally? Like, where's it heading? Like, any big goals and mountains?
My big goals are really, I hate saying it, but kind of out of the real estate industry, like, I have a big goal to just be a really good YouTube creator. I actually experimented with a channel, and, within 2-3 months, I was already at like 10,000 subscribers, like instant. I know I have it in me. I just got to find the time to make it consistent. That takes me away from what is producing money right now. But my big goal in life is probably doing a lot of, obviously, more traveling with the kids. And that's the biggest goal, traveling, seeing the world, and just being there for every sporting event type thing. But personally, to do that, I think it's going to be through real estate investing. So that's probably going to be something that, at least in the immediate future of 5-10 years, is really building a massive like portfolio of wealth. And I don't know much about it. I got 2 investment properties now that have kicked my ass, and it almost makes you not want to do it. But you do see the wealth building, and I've learned some stuff. And this is something I can do with my wife too, because she designs. She's very good at that, remodels and flips and that kind of stuff. So that's our goal, is kind of like real estate wealth.
That's awesome, man. What were some of the struggles, actually, to go back a little bit, what were some of the struggles you had with like traveling with your kids?
Well, my whole thing was, I loved doing it. And so I learned by the end of it, I would go there and kind of hang out with the family, and it was so fun and like exciting. And then I knew in the back of my mind again, I'm like, shit, I got to go film video in 2 days and leave them. So I flip-flopped. We would go for 5 days. And what I would say is, hey, hun, first few days are honeymoon phase anyways. You stay with the kids. I'm going to go do my 2 days up front. And then that way, because I could get all of my footage done, everything done. And then I can just lock the camera up in the bag and just like 3-day vacation, and my head was clear. So, you know, when you're trying to balance work life and all that, and I'm still learning this every day, but there's times when you got to just like put it away, put it down, and go play basketball with the kids, or, you know, and that's the thing when you're always building, you kind of forget sometimes. And you know, so blessed to be home working and see him more than most, you know, adults get to. But at the same time, you work from home, and you know, sometimes it's like Friday nights or Saturday mornings or Sundays, and you're just kind of always trapped in that office trying to always do things. And I've gotten really good at kind of just making my time like office hours, I would say, banker's hours, where I don't, you know, that way I can get off, I can still do all the practices, and because you have to stay motivated in this. It's, dude, I got my book coming out. I'm not trying to sell it, but this is what I talk about.
Sell it.
It's not like this.
I'm going
right, because you guys are gonna. It's gonna be so different than what you guys are, or what people are used to in the real estate industry. Of like, here's a game plan of how I made $8 million, and that it's really like, it's just a relatable 3 major like mental crashes and how I dug out of them, and one of them was that where you overdo it. And then what happens is you're like pissed off that you're not spending time with your kids. And then, you know, anything that the kids do fight wise, and you just enter the room, you know, and you kind of get ticked off or whatever. But the wife, there's like so many balances, you know, now being an entrepreneur. That's probably the hardest part, because the family's first in everything. So it's like,
what's funny is that's like the real side of it, you know? Yeah. No one wants to talk about it. Like that's, you know,
you do it all for that. And then, it's like, you just have to be able to balance it all.
Yeah. Do you think there is a balance, or do you think it's just, you know, you kind of swing both sides and try and keep it from going to the extremes?
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's never like a perfect balance, but I have found mine, and it's actually something that I recommend too. If you're going to be a content creator, is like, when are your rock star times? You know, for me in the day, it's early. In fact, if it's still dark outside in the morning, like 4, 5, 6 a.m., like, I am a wizard. I'll get 8 hours of work done in those 2 hours or 1 hour. Like, I could just go. These times of the days, that's actually why I booked the Zoom for this, because I can, like, I can just talk to somebody, right? I don't have to think about like sending
planning
stuff
or thinking.
I start losing focus really quick midday. And so if I'm going to do anything like midday to the rest of the day, 3, 4 o'clock, it's typically going to be like phone call, conversations, Zooms, meeting, because I can just wrap. I can go and be alert for that. So the balance for me is like, okay, I'm never going to miss a kid's game, practice, nothing. So basically 3, 4 o'clock, I'm done, you know? I'll check my emails and stuff here and there, messages, but like, I'm done, because I'm going to pick up kids. We're doing sports every day. But I have to sacrifice, you know, like mornings, you know, alarm goes off 4 or 5 o'clock. I get up and I do all my work, and then I'm getting kids ready and doing all that. So it's like, that's the balance is really where you strive the best, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people, everyone wants like a blueprint. This is how your day needs to be structured. But it sounds like you just sat down. You're like, no, I'm like, how do I want my day to go? Like actually like thinking about it.
Yeah, it was funny because Jesse's the opposite, right? So, and now he's married and got some kids, so it's a little bit different.
I say now he's working into that life.
4 years of our business, we always claimed that we were open 24/7, because I was up at 4 or 5 a.m. It's when I jammed before and was editing videos, and I could answer email, whatever. But yeah, you come 9 o'clock at night, I am in bed and my phone is on silent. Like, I don't even allow notifications because they just buzz all night. So that's one thing that I do. And then, but Jesse, like his firing time is like 10 p.m., midnight. I'll wake up to like 40 ideas from him of like, dude, we got to do this. And I love it because in the mornings I'm like, perfect, let's go. You know, and our balance was really that. And he told me one day, he goes, dude, I I realized that I'm always trying to just start my day at 8 a.m. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm up till midnight too. That's when I work. So he started blocking his day to where he didn't even start until 10 a.m. Right. Where I've already, I've been up for 4 hours, 5 hours. And but then he was, the afternoons, man, it was all him.
No, I get that. That's funny. That's how me and my business partner are now. Yep. Let's talk about that a little bit. Looking back, and obviously you were just looking to make traction at the time, but you and Jesse really have made that partnership work. How many agents do we know out there that are trying to do it all themselves when you guys both found where you strive and where you're good at?
Yeah, everybody's like, I wish I had my Jesse or I had my Jackson. We've kind of set that bar on the partnership.
Yeah. But tell me about how you think you make your partnership work, and do you have any tips, do you think, for someone who's trying to figure that out for themselves? Maybe not like with the business side. Do you think Jesse, is stronger in that, but maybe just from your point of view, like, how you came to finding your strength and, making that work with your partner.
So the first thing you do is we're going to always lean on people that are just like us, right? It makes us feel comfortable. So you're going to think out of the gate, like I did, like, oh, I need another freaking, outgoing dude, video guy, and together we can just kill this thing, right? But the proof was that doesn't work. So you have to look at people that do things opposite of you. So as people have been hearing me talk today, they're probably sitting there listening to me describe Jesse, and they're like, "That I am that exact person. I work late at night. I'm just driven. No time for bullshit." So you got to go out and you got to find the Jackson. Like, who's this young hustler? Not even young. I mean, I've seen 70-year-olds go out here and absolutely destroy. But who's that hustler who loves video and just really hates real estate and transactions, and enjoying that force, right? And that's so with partners. It's you got to find people that are 180 out. And Jesse, again, he's so direct. We had our Portland team, and right out of the gate, these two gals came to us, saw us on YouTube, wanted to join the team. And Jesse's just like, all right, obviously we need to grow the team. We need bodies, but he's like, this isn't going to last more than like 2 months. I'm like, what? These girls are great, dude. They're young hustlers. He goes, no, they're the same exact person. Like, it's going to be a fiery crash. Watch. I mean, he just like reads the future, right? It wasn't 2 to 3 months later. And literally they just started bitching about, the other one. And because they did the same job, and so we kept the better of the two and moved on. But in partnership, right? And brokerages were a lot like this. Brick and mortar brokerage was really show up to the office. And my comforting place, again, my first year was, I'm just going to show up to the brokerage because there's a lot of other agents in there that aren't really, they're struggling too. And it felt so comfortable to be able to go in there and bitch with them of like, you know what I mean? And then there was all the office meetings and stuff, and I would never miss them because, again, at least I was doing something, even though it didn't pay me. But for me, it was getting out of that environment. Actually, just like leaving Idaho, I was around people that we just bitched at life all the time, and I had to get away from that, right? And then in the real estate world, like I had to get away from the normalcy, and surround ourselves with people doing bigger, better things.
No, I love that, man. Random thought that just popped in my head, as a squirrel ran in front of me. So obviously your Houston channel has blown up, and Portland's always going to be the OG channel. What do you think was different about Houston? Is it just the location that made it so hot, or do you think there's you just were able to put like more, like everything you learned over those years into it? Because your Houston channel is massive.
Yep, it's the combo of both, and what it is at the end of the day. Now I'm at a point to where, I mean, I probably have 50 to 80 realtors doing my methods, like taking my course, and they're in my market, and I love it, dude. I mean, there's people, and one of them I saw was creeping on me, and I'm like, hey, this mother truck. And at the end of the day, I was like, no, this is the best. That was when I got engaged. Like, I broke down my channel. There's not a stat or a number I don't know. And I'm breaking down individual videos into like, where I'm getting flatline. Okay, I'm getting audience retention. Okay, next video I'm going to open with that. And I'm going insane crazy with videos now. So one aspect is I got not lucky. We chose Houston. We could live wherever we wanted in the world. And we chose Texas, and I was like, you know what? Houston's one of the hottest relocation markets, and I'm really good at this. And I think I could blow it up. So then it was finding a partner, which again, I found the opposite. I found the Joe. he came through my boot camp like a year and a half before I moved here.
Yeah.
And I called him up. I'm like, how's your channel going? He's like, man, I didn't get after it, man. I'm like, chill, and I heard it all. It wasn't nothing new. He's like, I just, I'm busy with real estate. I realized I just can't do video. I just can't. But like, man, if you put a deal in front of me, I can close that shit. It's just what I do. And I'm like, you're my guy. Boom.
Yeah.
So I just, coming here, I knew a lot already, but two, it's been like when you move to somewhere new and it's a fresh start, I have 10 times the energy in these Houston videos, because I'm literally telling you what I'm seeing today, and giving it to you real. And that's why, the people just eat it up.
That's funny. No, that's a good point. I think about my own channels is for Orlando, same way. But like we talk about before going all military into San Diego. I don't talk about enjoying San Diego at all. In fact, I talk about how terrible it is, but you can build wealth here if you're in the military, active duty, and you play it right. And it's funny, like, it goes back into what you said, be yourself. And it just started working out. I thought that channel was dead because I'm like, who wants to live in California? Like, they lost like 30% and like 25% of their veterans over the last couple of years. But
so it's fascinating because you get, like, I just shot a real kind of negative video yesterday. I hate doing them, but they work really well. But I did it completely different. It'll launch tomorrow as me and you were talking. I don't know when your audience is listening, but
probably this might be a month. I'm pretty built up. It might be 2-3 weeks.
It'll be interesting to see how this one goes because it's like, one, it's a fast paced, like I'm trying to do almost like Mr. Beast style to where like not a drawn out like in this box I got 15 things you're gonna hate about Texas. Boom, number one. I'm like, I have to talk crap about Texas people. That's the worst one. So like that's how I open this video, and it's 15 things, but it's what I say in there is like I'm just observing it, right? These are not negative things. It's just like I am from Idaho and now I'm living in Texas. It's like a completely different country. So I talk to all these locals and they're like, yeah, man, how'd you not know that? You got to go out there and fight that. I'm like, dude, you guys don't tell me shit. Like, so this is how I talk in my videos.
Yeah.
And so anybody moving to Texas is just like, holy shit, this is the most real thing I've ever heard. And so when you talk about like the military thing, again, we want to sugarcoat everything. Everything is perfect. Everything is cute. But man, when you tell me, hey, you've got 2 years here, 4 years. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm from Idaho. We are trained to hate California, but hey, I'm in the military. I got to go. And you say, it wasn't my favorite place, but you can build some freaking wealth here I'm like, oh my God, he literally just ripped that out of my head. Like that's exactly what I was thinking. I have got to do whatever I can to get a hold of this guy. Like right now, ASAP. I need him. And so, I mean, all that energy, everything I'm coming to you with right now is authenticity. And dude, it is one of those things that I learned, especially from my Idaho channel, was like, I'm going to lean into this pretty heavy, that it's a very red state. And I've brought guns up in my videos and shit, which what real estate agent's ever going to do that? What happened? Blow up. Dude, we did
crazy
13 million in the first like 70 days. People dying to
especially
work with
millennials being a big home buying section. I mean, they just want real people.
That's all
there's just not enough of it.
They literally, it's becoming more influencer type real estate where they just want to work with people that they want to, and sometimes that's who they see on video, who they look at like a star, and it couldn't be any simpler said than that. It's really what works the best today.
Yeah, it's so true, man. I mean, that's the biggest thing I have with Orlando is like, who am I talking to? There's no military base there, but it's a fun challenge, And like you said, it's just trial and error. Especially being in Orlando, there's so many Disney freaks. I'm in many of my videos. I'm like, yeah, I go to Disney because my wife likes it. I despise it. I could care less. I did one of my more popular videos is like where to live in Orlando when you hate people. But it did well. You know why? Because people are like me, and they were like, I just want like a half acre to an acre, no HOA, but to where I'm 40 minutes or less to the parks because my wife or spouse is obsessed. Like, believe it or not, massive group of people that move to Central Florida who are in that vote. So,
well,
it
that's
works.
the niche, right? The niche is not the niche is truly, I hated California and I wanted to go to Florida. Like,
went from a condo to a house. And most people live in the West Coast. They're like, man, I get to have a house. Get out of here.
Yeah. So what I did a lot of times was just when I was I was flying to a city that I'd never been to, never seen, and I'm going to shoot 20 videos in 2 days about it, right? First of all, in your mind, you're like, okay, you have to know everything. You have to be perfect. You have to be the know-it-all. You have to have lived there your whole life. Like, your audience is probably thinking, how the hell are you doing that? It was easy. And so I get the question all the time, Jackson, I'm thinking about starting another market. How do you get all your research? Where do you go to read about it? Where are you getting your data, your information, your facts? Like, how are you understanding these areas? And I say, I do none of that. I drive there. I don't even read one thing. I don't watch one thing. I do nothing. I'm going to get to this area. I've already found my partner that I'm going to do it with. And I just start asking him. I say, hey, all right, what are the top 5, 6, 7, 4, 3 areas that people are moving to? Best neighborhoods, that kind of shit. This is one-on-one with the agent. Like, oh man, this area, because there's a new Amazon factory out there. You can get new construction for $350 to $450. It's going crazy. Oh, boom, this area. It's like the kind of the high-end, super bougie, luxury. All right, this. And I'm like, hey, which one's the farthest? And they're like, well, this one. I'm like, let's go. So the whole way I'm going out there, they're like, cool, dude. So, what's it like traffic-wise driving out this way? Who's typically going this way? What do you do out this way? I'm just asking these questions, and then I have this ability to just soak it all up. And then when I get out the car, I'm like, actually, we're out here on the east side. The reason is because the 405 actually gets stretched out, and now they got an Amazon plant. Dude, you come out this way, you got 2 lakes, one to the north, one to the south. I'm just ripping these stories, and I'm like, and this is what I love because I'm a dad. I got 3 kids. I got to keep them busy. So I always throw that in my videos. So now anybody who's a dad or a mom got kids are like, oh my God, this guy's like me, Oh my God, that's what I want. And I naturally throw my niche in there by just always saying I'm a dad. I drink some brewskis, whatever. It's so the more fun you have, more yourself, the better it goes.
I don't know. And not being yourself just makes it hard, especially when you gotta get videos out. And you got to stay ahead of schedule. It's just so much harder when you're just trying to be fake,
Yep.
I mean, like, obviously, because I'm hopping back and forth, and I'm not always there locally to do some of these videos. Right now, I have a green screen because, my house is getting built still. It'll be done in another month, But what's funny is I leaned into the green screen. Now I'm shooting, I'll have, videos of, stuff going on behind me. I realize I'm like, and I still got reach outs. I just got one yesterday, And people don't care. They're like, dude, I love your videos. Or, they want the person. You have enough of the local stuff, and that's like the meat, the bread and butter. But it's so true. There's still 1,000 ways to skin it. It just depends on who you're speaking to.
Yep, and you got to shoot a lot of videos to figure out what videos are working best and your niche, and you'll start getting the reach outs of people who remember something you said 10, 15 videos ago that they liked and triggered, and you'll hear that a lot from clients, and then you're like, they like when I say that or do that,
Yeah, no, I get that, man. That's awesome, dude. I mean, I think it's the life a lot of us aspire to do, but it's it's still the reality. It's still a lot of work. It's not like you're just you did the videos and they're done. I mean, I'm sure you're still crazy trying to make it all work every single day.
Every day, yeah, it's a lot, man. And but it seems like every few months I kind of go through life and figure out what I really enjoy doing, what can make me the most money, and I start getting rid of the rest because now I got all these channels and some of them weren't really going. My partners there aren't sending me videos, and I'm just like, you know what? My videos are just running 24/7. They're still ranking number 1. They'll work, but I can't focus on that anymore. I hate it. I don't want to talk about these areas I don't live in anymore, and so. Again, I shed weight, tell Jesse why, and then I go harder into the core, what makes money, and right now it's like my 2 babies are channel junkies. We're going hard in the paint with that. And then Houston and Portland, I got to try and get some videos. I've been trying. I just, it's like, I don't want to talk. I'm gone from that place.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was actually rad. I'm not going to talk anything other than just I had a blast there with my family. It was rad. It changed my life, but I am enjoying talking about Texas and YouTube for real estate. And
I share that kind of fear, especially not being in California. I think I'm lucky it's military.
But again, if you focus all that effort on just where you're at, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going to be big. But what you could probably do, since you have subscribers and growth with that channel, is just start kind of converting it slowly into more of just a military relocation style channel and work more nationally.
I definitely did. And what's funny is like, I just started being honest. And I think when I'm start picking up videos again, because also I got to like, I did like not that many videos, like probably 4 months of 2 videos a week. And then I was like, screw this. Came back for about 3 months. It was hard when that third boy was due. He's determined to be the last one, I promise you. I love him to death, but he is a fussy one. And that's when I went full military, and that's when all of a sudden I got reach outs on a channel that was dead because who's moving to California? Like no one.
And I mean, I would literally change it to that. I would just go all in on it and be the resource, be the go-to.
Yeah, and what's funny is I think in future videos I'm gonna let people know, like, hey, I actually, I hop back and forth between Florida and here because I'm starting to find out military, they don't stay in one place. Most of them just want to buy something, so in 4 or 5 years when they leave, they can cast that nest egg. Because San Diego does the high highs, low lows, but if you hold it for 5 years plus, you tend to be okay. Like that's just what it works out to be, and what's funny is that's gonna be my honesty. It's like, yeah, dude, I hop back and forth. And what's funny is I think I get more respect from the veterans that reach out to me. Dude, I love that you just, so you're only here for the summer. Like, oh yeah, man, that's the plan. I hop back and forth. That's why I only help you guys because I don't care about anyone else. And it's funny because it tends to work out. Which is interesting because a lot of people in California, they struggle to get those channels going.
Big time. I would advise you to only talk about that from now on, and that I guarantee you'll 10x the business.
Oh, I have no doubt, man. Yeah, well, your training recently, stuff like that, has caused me to be more in that. Yeah, and like you said, though, it's funny though. Like I stopped doing videos like 2-3 months ago for that channel, and it just randomly started to gain traction. It's VA only. Anything that involves VA is, dude, you're working with a smaller demographic. So it's harder for those videos to rank. I'm sure you can attest to it. You said you're stopping videos, but when they rank number 1, I mean, you'll get reach outs even if you're not doing videos. Now, I know the work's still there, but how crazy is that? Just the stuff still comes through.
Well, and so the YouTube algorithm takes a while to figure stuff out too. So sometimes dead channels can like reignite or take off. And what happens is like, okay, you've got a lot of content, you're leveraging keywords. Mm-hmm. We kind of thought your channel was more about this, and it's not just working, but a video or two in there really works. It just, there's something you said in it, some way it's titled, whatever, that it hits a certain group and they start watching it and longer and it kind of experiments with more and more people like that. And it continues to get that. And then all of a sudden that video, it just goes, and I've done this so long now that I have channels, 4 years old, that I had one. My longest one the other day was 525 days. This video just kind of like hovered flatlined, and it went up and it got like 500,000 views. I didn't even know what happened. I haven't done anything on this channel in a year and a half. But just the other day it went, and someone was like showing me a picture of it, and I'm like, what? I haven't even looked at that channel in a year and a half. 525 days later, this video just went ape shit and got 500,000 views.
Crazy.
So yeah.
It's crazy, man.
And then, and then I had so many really cool videos and vlogs and stuff that all those people come to the channel, they start watching my other videos with calls to action, and then it just starts picking up.
It's awesome. Well, what's some advice? So as a father trying to make this happen, what's a piece of advice you can give someone who also has a family and they feel caught with trying to make it work? Dude, I know you've talked about a lot already, man. But like, what do you think's like the top thing that you were like, you know what? Like, I really started to gain traction when I did this, or started to focus, maybe not in one activity, but just like mentally, like what part of your life did you focus on that allowed you to really get that life back? Because I can already imagine
for me, it was like a 2-part question to where, okay, what part are you at? Are you at the point of I need to quit this job and get into real estate, or I quit the job and I'm in real estate? So part 1 is the quitting. Dude, I cannot believe to this day that I did it. Like me and my wife talk about that. Like, I cannot believe did that. That's insane. And I hear it every day. I have so many friends here in Texas now, and oil, pipeline, gas, energy is just so big. And a lot of them are, blue collar workers, and they always talk about, God, you rich, man. All you don't do nothing, man. You work. And I'm like, I was you guys, like, but I tell them to quit all the time or go get a sales job, and they will not do it. You have to. And when you really start thinking about it, I mean, I'm only speaking me, but I was like 32, 33. I've been in that job a long time. I've already like built up 401k. You feel old.
Right.
And then when you're like, I was planning on working until I was, okay, the youngest 55, but most likely 65, like all these other dudes. Right. I still literally have another 100% of years that I've already done in work. I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. Like, it's not going to get that bad. So make the move, do it. Like, go, and you're going to get your ass handed to you for a year. But if you'll start figuring out your niche. If you've already made the move, my advice again is like, don't spread yourself too thin, trying to do a little bit of a lot of things, right? And like write down what your 3, 4, 5 strengths are, and then like really figure out how you can make money doing that. If I could go back and tell myself at day one, go all in on this video, do them every day, stop cold calling, stop open house, stop door knocking, that you're wasting days and days and days of stuff that you're never going to close because you can't close. Like your big con is you're terrible at sales and converting and asking for the business. So go, and you know what I mean? It's like, you got to just understand you'll get your butt kicked out of the gate, but
yeah, I love that, man. I mean, I think it's definitely, we all got to strive to figure out what we're good at. And it's just being honest, Yep. Yeah. I love it, dude. Absolutely love it. As I trail off right now, dude, this is what's hard about having a newborn, man. I just randomly will have like, my brain will just go. I know you know what it is. Like, how many kids do you have now?
3.
Yeah, 3. Okay, that third one is kicking my butt, man.
Yeah, that's the one that was barging in here. And it does. And that's why later in these days like this, that's my thing is I don't want to work. And even if I try to, I'm not effective because I'm hearing my kids outside playing and I'm not, so it's like, it puts you in a bad mood. So find your time, find your place, find your skills and like go all in on that.
Well, and the reality is like having kids is like, dude, we're not going to get this time back. I mean, my son, we just celebrated his 6th birthday yesterday. Dude, I can't believe he's 6. And what's sad is because, I had him in at 23. I look back, like how much time did I waste doing those mad hustle things when, knowing what I know now, I mean, I could have avoided that. I mean, right now I have a virtual assistant who's doing all my paperwork and stuff while I'm doing this.
Great.
You know? And I think as a parent, like, do you ever look back and have any regrets during that time? Or you think it was just part of the journey?
Part of the journey, dude. Yep. I mean, I've always like, you can't like, no regret.
Yep. I love it.
It was hard, dude. It was like super hard. There's probably times especially the beginning, I worked a little much and left, family here, that whatever, but like, I don't regret it. Yeah, man. I'm 38. They're young. I'm like, it got me to learn. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have learned what I was missing. It's like this, you can take that out of everything. And, man, it's just like, I'm still doing stuff. I'm still trying to figure out,
That's what's crazy, man. It's talking to people like yourself who are like in that next level, and like everyone says the same thing. It's like, I don't regret anything, like it's all just part of the journey. And what's funny is like everyone says the same thing. I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest with you. No one does. No one knows what they're doing. Yep. There is no special superhuman on this planet.
No, not at all. Definitely not here. Yeah.
You still get blown away when you get on like stages and all that stuff. I know you got shareholders too coming up. I saw Ryan's looking to do like a big meetup. Man, dude, I wish I was in Orlando. Man, I'll be there July, but it is what it is.
It'll be fun, but yeah, the stages are cool. I've always wanted to do that. Sometimes I'm still just like, I can't believe it, Yeah. But it's really cool to be able to.
What was the first stage you ever got to speak on as you started to get a little more, I say famous, a little more out there?
One of them was a virtual stage, but it was in front of VidFest. That was cool. It was actually all the top YouTubers. They got a hold of it. I'm talking like Brian G. Johnson, Nick Nippens, Roberto Blakes. They were all there, and that was pretty cool. But a lot of them, Sphere Rocket were big ones. Couple
was
of
Sphere Rocket your first big stage, like in person?
I can't remember now, to be honest. I think it was.
Man, what's it like getting on stage for the first time?
Of them now. Huh?
Yeah. How was it getting on stage for the first time?
It's tough for me. So a lot of people are going to go up to the stage and be very prepared, and that makes them nervous and read. I'm the opposite. Like, I really wing a lot of shit. So I'm like, I kind of have an idea. Yeah. And it's no different than like stand-up comedy. You really got to get like an ooh and an ah or a laugh out of that audience right out of the gate, or you're effed. Like, you're done.
Got it.
It's really hard because what it does is like it messes with your mind. And so, I've kind of learned how to open up, the stage and go like my first one. Yeah. I kind of just was like, oh, I can wing this. I can talk all day. This is what I do. And it probably took me too long to get into what I talk about, too much of, and everybody just kind of like, huh? So it's nerve wracking, but it's like a YouTube video. You've got to like hook that audience right out of the gate. And then from there you'll be set.
Gotcha. Do you have a stage at Shareholders this year? Or?
No, I didn't. I forgot to send in the thing to talk, but they do a big meetup where you can like kind of put your name in the hat.
Gotcha.
And I'll do that. And I've had people reach out and they're like, yeah, come down. And, we have this one registered waiting for, or needs people and stuff. So other than that, I'm just there to mingle and meet and talk to everybody. And we'll try and get on as many stages as we can.
It's awesome, dude. Yeah, I look forward to being. And that's also why part of the reason we chose Orlando is because, dude, it's going to come every year, and I'll live there. About to just start buying Airbnbs to have you guys stay there when that time comes.
For real,
at this rate, because everyone comes to that convention center, man. But dude, I love it, brother. I'm already going to get pulled. I gotta go get ready for my son's birthday party tomorrow, which is always a blast. So, but dude, I appreciate you being on today. Is there any last things you want to leave for my viewers, subscribers?
Get after it, homies.
Man.
Oh, man. Life too short. No, but for real, I mean, if they want free, advice, they haven't seen my stuff. Yeah, I got, dude, hundreds of free videos. I have a walk and talk podcast. It's all Channel Junkie stuff.
Oh, it's all getting linked down below, brother. No,
everything, dude. It's like, and I talk just like this, and I'll about a lot of life stuff, and I think you'll be able to relate to that stuff. So I got a lot of free stuff for people out there.
Yeah, and then you're also part of EXP. If anyone's looking to vibe with Jackson, he's there, man. Our upline is like we're all the same vibe, man. Everyone just wants to see each other succeed. And I think that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
And I'll link everything down below. Channel Junkies, podcast, all of it. They're a wealth of information. Like you said, you give it all away for free on your channel.
We have lots and lots of videos, that teaches you. And then we've developed the absolute blueprint, that YouTube masterclass. I mean, that's the one that's made more millionaires than anything. So
that's a fact, man. I mean, look at Will and Eli. You guys are fucking crushing it, man. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, man. Well, dude, it is an absolute honor to have you on today. Thank you so much for taking the time, even though we got disturbed only once by, the kiddos running through. So, hey, that's exactly a win. Only once. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.